It's now time for the JJBurke Home Show on K-Law 101. For the next 30 minutes, you'll hear information that will save you money around your house. With your hosts, Eric Sherem and Jay Burke.
And a pleasant good morning, Southwest Oklahoma. A little cool and, well, it is December. I mean, technically, we are, even though it's not on the calendar, the first day of winter. I mean, I didn't want it to go from summer to winter. We did get a little bit of fall. I had to get reminded that it was pretty nice at some times, but it warmed up. But we're finally getting some of those colder temperatures now, so I guess it's here. It's here to stay.
Well, we have been absolutely inundated with people that, as you remember the prior weeks, I kept saying, go ahead and call and let's talk about maybe getting in to look at your heat, make sure you're good. And well, you know how.
Well, they didn't do that.
They didn't do it.
They waited until whoops,
it's
not working.
I did turn it on and it didn't work. What do I do now? Help. And but we were able to go out and thank God help a whole lot of people in the last week for sure. But this week has been very cold and so you have to, and we worry more about, at least for me, being a dog lover and everything else. You worry about your pets and then if you have children and all these things that you don't think about until your heat doesn't work, and then you're like in a complete panic. But we're glad that we're there to help but this time of year is kind of cool because all the Christmas lights going up, everything that's going on, the parades we've just had in Lawton, the Christmas parades, all the other stuff. And it just, to me, it's just a really cool time. I remember as a kid just loving to think, oh my God, it's December. It's Christmas time. What's Santa going to bring? And, I know for so many young people, it's such a great time of year. And even for old people like you,
Do you want me to go on record to tell you who's older in between the two? So if I'm in that category, I don't know where you're at. Yeah.
But it's a great time of year, and people are starting to put up their lights. So all I say to people and around the Southwest Oklahoma is light up your house, light up, get up your Christmas tree, enjoy a great season, and I hope you have a great time with family. And this is just a great time. People come in from out of town. Christmas parties are going on like crazy. Almost every business in town you can find is having some sort of Christmas party or get together, and it's just a really cool time of year.
It is. I want to do a review of kind of everything that JJBurke does, because I think over time we found out that when you started out, it was basically just heat and air, and,
right.
And we talked about, you said insulation. I never thought about that. We talk about these things. I never thought about. We don't do that. And people even ask you, well, do you even do this? And I think, and you got to give credit to a little bit of the programs that you're involved with that talked about energy efficient, that kind of enlighten you to say, okay, well, why do I need? I can do this, And so let's give a little review, because you've got a nice little. You handed me this little flyer brochure. Kind of. I don't know if you do these at when you go to retail outlets, when you have the little
right.
home shows and stuff
right.
like that, to kind of say, who is JJBurke and what do they all have to offer? Sure, you do heat and air, but it's really a whole lot more.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you got to figure in the last 17 years since we opened JJBurke, it really, honestly, it was just doing heating and air. I mean, you had a broken air conditioner, a broken heater, we came and fixed it or replaced it, and that was the end of that. You didn't worry. I don't know. I just think our whole industry has changed. And so that for the better. I mean, finally talking about energy efficiency, how can we, not only do you need a new unit, but how can we save you money with a new unit? How can we make it where, we have some guarantees that, hey, we can save you a minimum of 25%, all the way up to 60% in utilities. And they can do energy audits on your home now that 20 years ago, that was not an option. There was no energy audit. They didn't even know what to audit. I mean, they didn't understand what the difference meant in air infiltration, and then what did it mean to have leaky duct work and not enough insulation. Usually people, when they look in their attic, they'd say, oh yeah, I've got insulation. It might have only been 2 inches, but they had insulation because nobody knew the difference. And now it's hey, you need 14 inches of blown in insulation to get R38. That's the industry norm now.
Really?
I mean, I would have never thought that. I would have never dreamed. And I built houses some 12 years ago. I don't remember ever thinking about how deep is the insulation in the attic. Is it 14 inches or is it, and we built custom homes. And so these were not cheap houses. These were nice homes. But I remember we put good insulation in the walls because you would, there was a transition there where they were putting different types of insulation in walls. So things have really changed. People want a home that is comfortable. They don't want a drafty home. They don't want, and invariably we go to a house and they'll say, I got a brand new unit a year ago. Larry's Heating and Air came and put me a new unit in, Jay, and he's been out here 400 times to try to figure out why I don't have air in my back 2 rooms. But he can't make it change. He's tried everything. He's adjusted those grills that are in my ceiling, and it's still, it's freezing in those rooms. Well, it really isn't that Larry's a bad guy. He just doesn't have the equipment that it takes to test and find out why we don't have enough air in that room. Most of the time what we find is those companies that come out and just change out your heating and air unit, they're just selling you a piece of equipment. They don't know what size you need. They don't know, there's just so many things that back in the day, I'll be the first one to tell you, we did the same thing. We just estimated.
So what changed? I mean, how did you get changed in all of that and really getting to know the whole layout of a house and where its efficiency is going, where it's not, where it's leaving?
Well, part of it was just going to training and going to continuing education through, different classes that Lennox put on, and then starting to think, oh, okay, you need to do a load calculation on every house. People say, what's a load calculation? Well, it basically says this is how big the rooms are, how many exterior walls, how many windows, doors, which way do they face, what kind of shingles do I have, brick, siding.
Really?
Do I have concrete?
What kind of shingles you have?
It has
for heat and air?
Absolutely.
I'll never guess that.
Huge. What kind of slab do I have? Is it concrete? Is it subfloor? Do I have, is it insulated, uninsulated underneath? That means there's going to be a lot of cold or hot air underneath your home. You really have to really put all that into the computer. And now it's all in a computer-based program we've been using for about 10 to 12 years now at least. You put that into the computer and it says, this is what this house needs to heat on a 101 degree day or a 30 degree day. This is what you're going to need to heat and cool this house efficiently. Now, if you don't do anything, if you don't put any insulation in and you don't do any of the things that you need to do to make the house efficient, you're going to need a bigger unit. It's inevitable. We go out and we say, okay, we'll load these houses with R38 attic insulation. It may make what was a 3.5 ton unit come down to a 2.5 ton unit.
Wow, because you're not having to make it work extra. Okay, I get that.
Yeah, and why pay for more unit than you need?
Okay.
And why pay more utilities? Because the bigger the unit, the more it costs to operate.
Mm-hmm.
It's like driving that big semi or driving that Honda. That semi is going to cost more to drive, and just more fuel. And that's exactly what it is. And so PSO with their programs and Centerpoint with their programs and Lennox with their programs, all three kind of combined come out to say, we're going to give you rebates because we believe, number one, that we don't want to build a power plant in Southwest Oklahoma that's going to cost the billions, the B word.
And that's why this rebate program exists. It's not just because they love everyone. And
no.
It's really to make sure that doesn't, because that's inevitable. I guess that's on the horizon if it goes the way it goes.
Well, and I've heard people say to me, Arthur, there's got to be a catch to this, because why would PSO want to save you money? Because isn't that how they make their money? I never thought of that either. And I was like, oh, that's just a good point. Well, the point is this money is funded through the state of Oklahoma through the Corporation Commission. So that's who sets utility rates. That's who bills power plants. And basically it's me and you. Through our utility bills, our bills are going to go up because they're going to have to figure out a way to put a surcharge on there to cover that billions of dollar utility plant in Southwest Oklahoma. So basically, that's really what it boils down to. And most people, we don't think that through. We don't think that, there has to be a power plant. We just think we have to pay for the power. Well, who pays for the plant? Get it here.
Right.
It ain't going to be PSO. It's going to be the citizens
Consumers.
of Southwest Oklahoma. Yeah. It's going to be us. And the entire state will all pay, more higher utility rates to get that done. And so the Corporation Commission came to all of the utility providers in Oklahoma and said, we need to cut 25% of the utilities across the state. How do we do it? Help us come up with a plan. And so they come up with a plan called Power Forward, which that PSO is using, and Centerpoint has their own plan. And so both plans are excellent because you end up with a better unit And there are some requirements for you to get into the program, but they're not asking you to come put in a hugely high efficient unit. You have to put in just more efficient unit than what you have today. So they're not saying, hey, you got to get the best unit on the market. That's not at all the case. Just more efficient than what you have.
And when it comes to adding stuff like if your house was needing that insulation, you talk about from going the 2 inches to the other, that's part of the program too. It's not just to pay for a heat and air unit, or if it's to seal doors or to seal windows, or escaping air around the chimney, stuff that we never even thought about until the third-party tester comes in and talks about cobwebs where they're not just looking for where the spiders have set up, where there's drafty parts, where the
Did you ever think
bugs
that?
No, I never even put
either.
the 2 and 2 together.
I just thought that booger made a big old web there, but to get it down.
He's smart. The reason being is it's strategic. he wants a meal.
He just didn't build it in the middle of the room for nothing.
Yeah, I wonder why that's
exactly.
Not.
Well, Eric, you're right. I think that insulation, and part of this program is they give you money to help you replace your doors, replace your windows, insulation.
Now, see, that's what people, your doors and windows. So even though you're the heat and air guy, I mean, there's money to go towards to replacing some of these things to make your house more efficient. So all that air that you're paying for, either cold air for the summer or the heat, isn't escaping. And as my mom used to say, when we left the door wide open, I'm not trying to heat the outside. It's a close the door. Those little things that as a kid you didn't think about.
Well, and you don't. And I haven't used money this year that I didn't even know was available until I looked on the list of things that PSO has. And you can go to the PSO, the Power Forward page. It's powerforward.com, I believe. Anyway, but you go to the their website and you can look it up. Look up energy efficiency with PSO of Oklahoma, and it'll pull up their page. And it has the list of everything that they do. Then the list is a long list. And that's all stuff that we help you with, because those are instant rebates. And I did it on my pool pump for my swimming pool. I had a regular old pool pump that everybody else usually has, and it just churned away. And they said, you know what, if you buy a variable speed pool pump, we'll give you a $400 cash rebate. And I thought, huh? PSO's going to give me $400 to upgrade my pool pump.
Uh-huh.
And they did.
And how much was the pool pump?
Oh, the pool pump was like $900, not $400 rebate.
So it only cost you about $5.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And then it cut my utilities to a fourth of what I was using to use a variable speed pump.
Right.
I didn't know it's running. I can't even hear it. And so, but who would think that PSO is going to help you with the pool pump? Of all things, my pool pump.
So it's good to just look at the list. There may be something that you never even considered that they already have.
And if you're, and they do it with all different kinds of stuff. They even help you with lighting in your home. We change out can lights now.
I think this is important to bring this out, because we thought PSO just was heat and air only.
Nope.
And now you're just, the door is wide open to all kinds of other possibilities.
Yeah, we do it all. And if any of the stuff that we do, if we don't personally do it, we have someone that will do it and be part of the invoice, and we'll take it off your invoice right then.
And that's immediate. That isn't checks in the mail, wait 30 days, 60 days to get your money. It's off of it right then.
And people love it because you don't have to, a lady the other day, the whole entire system, if she just did the system alone, it was $7,500, let's say. And when we got finished with everything she needed insulation, she needed her ductwork replaced, she needed some doors and windows sealed, she had plumbing fixtures that were leaking, all kinds of stuff that she needed fixed. And when we got finished, she paid $1,000 less money for the entire than she would have paid if she just got the system alone.
Right.
So she had all that other stuff done for free. They paid for all of it. And she said, well, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And I thought, it really is. And then she said, how much do I get from Centerpoint? And how much do I get from Lennox? And how much do I get from JJBurke because I'm a Comfort Club member? All those things add up. And all of a sudden you're like, I don't see why I wouldn't do it. Mm-hmm. It makes good sense to get it done. And now's the perfect time. I know it's cold, but one of the things that we do as well is, even in the air conditioning season, we give you temporary air conditioning while we're changing your system out. So you're not going to be in your house sweating and, hot in the summer, and we're not going to let you be cold in the winter. So we're going to give you temporary heat to get you through that day or so that we're going to have you, day and a half. We'll probably have you down with no heat, and we'll get your heater back up and running just as fast as we can. That's the first thing we're going to try to do, is get your heat back on. Because right now we know it's getting down to 15 degrees at night the last few nights, and that's, your pipes freeze. Things have, people have frozen pipes, and so we want to make sure that we're able to make sure that your house is safe and you're not going to have broken pipes, because that's thousands of dollars in repairs, and you don't want water gushing out of your walls. So, but we've had a lot of people calling us about the program the last few days, and we've been able to go out and talk to a lot of people. And the money is still available, as PSO told me yesterday, and I did speak with him yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to say, you need to give us an update, because the money was leaving us. It was going low.
We're on Tulsa time, so we are using Tulsa money that wasn't used for a program, and the Lawton money has been gone for about 2.5 months.
Wow.
And so we are using Tulsa money. And so I tell every person, we're on Tulsa time. So all I'm going to tell you is, if we don't make, if you don't get this done, tomorrow may be a no-go. And we know that some of the money will come back. They'll start the program again sometime in late January, early February for next year's program. But the thing of it is we don't know what that program will look like. Every year it changes. So will it go down in rebates? We don't know. Are they going to try to make it last all year long, which this year it did not last all year long? We had gaps there. We took about a 3-month gap in the middle of the year from May, June, and half of July. We had no rebate money. And I mean, we've just got so many people that are using it. So all I want to say to people is, if you're having a thought that you may or you may not need it, and if I come out there and you're not going to qualify, I'm going to tell you straight up, you're not going to qualify.
Yeah, because there's the third-party tester that if you said, oh, yeah, you qualify, and then this guy comes in and says, no, you don't qualify, that doesn't make you look good, so there's no purpose in it. Well, how much is it going to cost for you to come out there and tell me? Because I'm interested. I want to see if I can save, if I've got any of these PSO efficiencies, and you're going to tell me yay or nay, but how much is it going to cost for me to have you come do that?
It's free.
No.
It's free.
Really?
It's free.
Okay.
And I will come myself. So, I do all my own estimating. I think it's kind of cool that I'm the guy. And when we make a deal, we want people to become part of the JJBurke family. I mean, and I know people say, oh, that's cliche. Yeah, come on. Everybody says that. No, they can say it, but I'm telling you, we mean it. And when you call us, and once you become a Comfort Club member with us, or once you've bought a system from us, you call us. I don't care if it's midnight. I don't care if it's 4th of July. I don't care if it's Christmas Day. I don't care. Somebody's coming to your house today, right now. They're coming. They're going to call you and tell you what time they will be there today, as long as you're a Comfort Club member. And as long as you've purchased a system from us, we're going to take care of you. And we're going to warranty it. And we're not going to say, oh, well, it'll be 3 weeks before we can get you a part, or no. And I hear that all the time. Hey, I bought a new system from Larry, but Larry won't call me back.
Picking on poor Larry.
He's poor Larry,
Larry's just trying his best.
But the bad thing was sometimes, and I hate to hear this too, you get what you pay for, but a lot of people have paid really, really good money, because systems are not cheap. There's nothing cheap about it. Let's just be honest. There's nothing cheap. But if you're going to do it, and I think the cool thing too is we not only sell you a system, but we offer you warranties, 10-year parts and labor. We do all these other things, but we have financing available. Some people are only paying $60 or $70 a month, and they're saving $100 and something a month in utilities. So, a lot of them have said, hey, I'm saving more in utilities than my payment is.
Yeah.
And we've heard those stories over and over and over. People saying it has been easy, and you don't have to have the greatest credit in the world. People say, I probably have to have a 900 credit score before I can get credit. Nope. We have a way to help you get credit, get it done, and to get you back to heating and cooling and doing it efficiently.
It's cool. We're going to be back, take a little break. A JJBurke home show each and every Saturday morning from 9 until 9:30. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Jay Burke from JJBurke Heating and Air. At JJBurke, we just combined the rebates from PSO and CenterPoint Energy to save you thousands on the most energy-efficient systems available. JJBurke is a 2014 PSO Partner of the Year for the entire state of Oklahoma. We are the best at getting you the rebates. So call us at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or go to jjburke.com and learn how you could save thousands today. I'm Jay Burke, and you can count on my company because you can count on me. Hi, I'm Jay Burke from JJBurke Heating and Air. At JJBurke, we just combined the rebates from PSO and CenterPoint Energy to save you thousands on the most energy-efficient systems available. JJBurke is a 2014 PSO Partner of the Year for the entire state of Oklahoma. We are the best at getting you the rebates. So call us at 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or go to JJBurke.com and learn how you could save thousands today. I'm Jay Burke, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
All right, JJBurke Home Show, Saturday mornings, 9 until 9:30, talking about how you can save around your home. I guess, that program, and I think it makes sense, and I know we've talked about the program, PSO, rebates, but I think this morning it was good to go back and say why this exists, because a company does make its money off of utilities. So why would they wink try to help you? Well, they're really helping themselves. And where is, if the power plant isn't in Southwest Oklahoma, where is the power plant? That was another question I had in my mind.
I do think that they're taking power from different power plants throughout the state to provide for us.
Okay.
Southwest Oklahoma has grown so much that it just doesn't have the ability to bring it. They knew they had about 8 or 10 years before they were going to have to build one. And at least the Corporation Commission was thinking ahead and said, can we extend that so that we can have more time?
Let's not wait for that day to
Let's not wait and all of a sudden, no, we need $1 billion and we are out of luck. And we've got to raise utility rates crazy. And so they said, instead of giving us 8 or 9 years, can you give us 16? Can you double it? Can you give us 16 years before we have to build it? It was great planning. And so I thought, and then if you can lower it 25%, well, so far I think the average, what they've lowered it down to, they've cut almost 40% of everyone's utilities.
Wow.
So they've almost doubled what they thought, what the Corporation Commission had hoped for.
It's good. And they're happy. It's kind of like, and it made sense like me with the expansions and people's uses. Remember, we all were in the 405 area code when, for the longest time, because all the state of Oklahoma could handle it. But then when everybody got a phone, and everybody got a cell phone, and there had to be numbers, and then all of a sudden, our 405 in Lawton went away. It became 580 because Oklahoma City needed all those 405 numbers that, what your number was at 405, someone else has got that up in the city now, So that kind of makes sense. I mean, that, at least, and I'm glad that these commissions, there's these checks and balances, and they're the ones that say whether or not utility rates can go up, and they wouldn't want, I know I wouldn't want to send on a commission that if someone waited till the last minute and say, by the way, in order to have this $1 billion thing, your rates are going to have to go, are you kidding me? I don't want to have my name on being a commission like that to say it's going to like double. It's almost like that Obamacare stuff, you're paying this, but now you're going to have to pay that. That's heartburn major.
Well, and you don't want to be where California was, to where they basically said, hey, we're going to have to turn your power off so many hours a day.
Oh my!
They have blackouts.
Wow!
In California,
and they still do that today.
Today,
really?
Because their power grid is just overloaded, and they didn't think ahead, and so they just basically said, okay, for the next 30-40 minutes, all the power's going off in Lawton. I mean, wouldn't people just?
And it wasn't like on an honor system that they would turn you off.
No, it just turned off. It just went dark.
I better time out when my phone is charging and when I'm using my internet. That's horrible.
And they were doing it.
I never knew it existed.
Did it, and then during peak hours, they were trying to turn it off when it was the hottest.
Oh wow!
So it would cut that power. They just overloaded and said we can't go anymore. Got to cut her off. And so a lot of people were very uncomfortable. And so we don't want to get that way in Oklahoma. And I think that was great that they thought ahead. Eric, one of the things that we talk a lot about is indoor air quality and what it means to your home. One of the things that we're tickled about is that we have a brand new duct cleaning machines that are exciting because we use a thing called RotoBrush, which has a big brush on the end of a big hose that goes through your ductwork. It won't tear up your ductwork. It won't, no matter what kind you have, whether it's a flex ductwork or if it's a hard pipe or duct board or any of those variables. And most people don't know what they have, but we'll tell you. But our machine won't tear any of it up. And a lot of machines will tear it up. A lot of machines, they put pressure, put air hoses through there, and they slap inside there back and forth to kind of knock stuff loose. I don't think they're worth a flip, but they knock stuff loose, and then they blow it kind of into a big vacuum cleaner kind of thing. Well, ours goes through and it brushes it. And as it brushes it, it has inside that hose is a vacuum into a HEPA. So it automatically brushes it, sucks it back into that machine, all the way down into a HEPA filter, never even gets anything going inside your home. The good thing about this is we bought a new one. It's called the RotoBrush Beast. And I know people kind of laugh at that, but it's the Beast. And I've never seen one so powerful. It's used to the old, when we've had rotor brush for 15, 20 years. It's a great product. It's made in Plano, Texas. It's nationwide. It's a huge company. And I was one of the very first ones to buy one. I was one of their very first training classes in Plano myself. And I was so impressed, I bought one. And then about 6 months later, I bought a second one. That's how busy we were doing duct cleaning. And people don't realize that every 4 to 5 years, you got to have your ductwork cleaned. I mean, it just gets dusty. That's just the way it works. And so even if you change your filter, your ductwork still gets dusty, still needs to be brushed and cleaned. You get hair in it. You get skin in it. You get all these things in it that are really gross. And so you want us to help clean that out. But one of the things we have now is we used to have a camera that was on the end of the hose, and it'd get caught up, and it was hard, and it had a long cable that you hung to the hose, and it got kinked, it didn't work, and it got dirty, and you had to pull the whole hose back out and clean off the camera. And it went to a little TV. We still have it. I think it's going to be an ancient thing one time. But it's a little bitty TV box with a VCR tape in it. And we could tape it. We could record your duct cleaning.
Plumbers do that. They have that.
Now, how many people really want to record your duct cleaning? Now, I don't think of many people that want to do that. But now we have the ability to stick this. We have a cable now that goes inside your ductwork, and we can actually take still shots, and we can actually take video. So we don't run it all the way through your ductwork like before and get it hung up and have trouble getting it out. So it's a lot better idea, and we can show you the befores and afters of how we clean your ductwork. But this machine, instead of having 2 motors like the old rotor brush used to have, now they have 4. So it's double the power, and it was already powerful. Now you've got this rotor brush that is really something else. And it can even do ductwork up to 30-inch ductwork, which is huge. You don't see it in homes. That's more light commercial kind of work. So we can do all kinds of businesses. We can do homes. But it's really a cool thing. They come out with a new fogger that we're able to fog with a chlorine-based fog. It doesn't hurt your pets or you. And so it's able to kill bacteria, mold, spores, anything that would grow inside your ductwork. We're able to use a chlorine-based fog to spray through it once we're finished to make sure that everything is nice and clean. One of the things that we're also proud of is being able to have whole house air purification systems. Lennox makes the only indoor air purification system called Pure Air, the only one on the market that produces no ozone. Ozone is a lung irritant. Now it's in the air. It's already being produced by a lot of different devices throughout our homes. But one thing to say about it is nobody that has respiratory issues, whether it's asthma or you have, any kind of respiratory issue, you don't want an excess of ozone. Ozone is a lung irritant, and you don't want it. Lennox made a commitment years ago that we'll have the best air purification system on the market and produce no ozone, and they've done it. It's been out for years now. But the UV lights kill all bacteria, molds, spores. They kill it before it ever gets going. So as it comes by, it's killed by these UV lights. It has a MERV 16 filter, which is a carbon-based filter. These things are amazing. Our maintenance guys come out and say, these people and people that will have them, that we've been able to sell them to, I'm going to tell you, people love them. They wouldn't go without it. They say, the very first time I walked in my home, about 24 hours after you'd put it in, I could tell there was no odor in my home anymore. There just wasn't an odor. And that one lady said, I have pets. And I thought I always smelled the pet odor when I came home from work. And she said, all of a sudden my pet odors were gone. And I said, it's because your Pure Air is working. It's doing its job. People talk about, when they make bacon, they cook bacon and the house smells forever and you got to open all the doors and windows because otherwise you smell like breakfast for 3 weeks.
That's the power of bacon.
Come on, Mama made bacon this morning. Well, now the Pure Air will take that out. So it really makes it nice. So we have a lot of good products out there, from thermostats that are Wi-Fi enabled thermostats. You can use it from your phone no matter where you're at to see what your unit's doing. Your unit will tell us if there's a problem. So with all the things that are going on out there, JJBurke has the answers for all your comfort, indoor air quality needs, and making your house more efficient. So truthfully, it is a free estimate. Call us. I'll come out. We'll take a look, and we'll take care of you.
Okay, so how do we call you and get in contact with you?
1-800-AIR-REPAIR, or you go to jjburkeair.com, and you can actually book an appointment right there on the website.
All right, sounds cool. Another JJBurke home show for a Saturday morning from 9 until 9:30. Hope that you enjoy your weekend. This is like what he said, a lot of holiday stuff, holiday parties. Just play it safe when you do that. And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Hoping for a sooner, a little bit of sooner magic today in
Heisman.
The Heisman.
One of them take that home.
One of two. Come on, baby. Let's do it.
All right. Okay. We'll see you later. The home show with JJBurke. Call JJBurke Air, the 1-800-AIR Repair, or JJBurkeAir.com.
Join us this time every Saturday morning for the latest technologies and professional advice to help you save money around your house. This has been the J&J Burke Home Show.
I'm Jay Burke, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.